Hi friends, how are you all? So this is the part 2 video for this particular topic, that is all about the preamble. So in the last session we have completed the part 1 topic where we have discussed many of the important points about the preamble. So let us resume the session. This is a continuation for the previous video. Right, moving on. So this is my introduction. Already I gave my introduction in the previous video. Let us not waste the time and continue with the topic. So these are the topics that I have covered in the part 1. Let us see what are the topics that I have covered in the part 1. In the part 1, we have discussed about what is preamble, history of preamble, what is the importance of preamble, and who designed and calligraphed the work of the preamble. All these points we have discussed in the part 1 video. So those who have not referred the part 1 video, just go back to my part 1 video, have a look at that, and then come to this part 2 video for your better understanding. Right. So in this particular session, in this video, what we are going to discuss about the preamble. So in this particular session, we are going to start the actual explanation about the terminology of the preamble. So in the preamble, as I told you before, we are having many of the important terminologies like sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, equality, fraternity, everything, each and every word will be discussed in this particular topic, right? So moving on, so the first word here, what is the first word that we can discuss about is the sovereign. So let us discuss about this sovereign topic. So, okay, what do you mean by sovereign? What is the importance of sovereign? Everything related to sovereign. So let's see what is this sovereignty. Sovereignty means independent authority of the state, not subjected to the control of any other state or the external powers. So here, simply saying sovereignty denotes supreme and ultimate powers, means we have the ultimate power, extreme power. We have every right to take the decision of our country. India have extreme powers. No other country can interfere in our country's decision. That is the meaning of sovereignty. Right? I repeat, sovereignty is the independent authority. No other country can interfere in the decisions of India. No other country can rule us. No other country can decide what we have to do and what not we have to do. So India have every right to take the decisions of its own country. That is called the sovereignty, ultimate powers. Now moving on, where from we got this the word sovereignty? How we got the word sovereignty? So if you look into the background behind this, according to D.D. Basuji, the word sovereignty has been taken from the Article 5 of the Constitution of Ireland. Means the word sovereign we got that word from the Constitution of Ireland, from the Article 5 of the Constitution of Ireland. This can be a question in your upcoming exams, right? So you can get a question like, where from, what is the source of the word sovereign? The source of the word sovereign is Constitution of Ireland. And this sovereignty has two aspects: external sovereignty and the internal sovereignty, or simply saying external forces or internal forces. Let us see what is this external forces or the external sovereignty and the internal sovereignty. Moving on to the external sovereignty, see the definition of external sovereignty here. can acquire foreign territory and also see any part of the Indian territory subject to the limitations, if any, means if it is imposed in the by the constitution. What it mean? What is the meaning of external sovereignty? It means we can acquire any foreign territory. We have every right to acquire any foreign territory. We can give off any part of the Indian territory to anyone subject to the limitations here. Giving the Indian part to any other territory means subject to the limitations. It should be mentioned in the constitution. Okay, we have every right to acquire any of the foreign territories. Okay, when it is mentioned in this constitution, then only we can give off our own territory to any other country. So no other country can restrict us from doing so. No other country can control us. Don't go for this foreign country. Don't acquire this foreign country. No other country can demand us, rule us. That is called external sovereignty. Now moving on to the internal sovereignty. Internal sovereignty refers to the relationship between the states and the individuals within the territory, within India. So each state is having its own individuality. Other states cannot impose its rules and regulations on us. Right. For example, Andhra Pradesh is having its own identity, its own individuality. They can make their own decisions. Okay, some other state like Uttar Pradesh or any Orissa state, they can't rule the other states. They can't rule Andhra Pradesh. That they can't decide which decision they have to take. So each and every state government is having their own rights to make decisions regarding the welfare of their state. So that is called the internal sovereignty. And in India, we are having both external sovereignty and the internal sovereignty. External sovereignty means any other foreign countries cannot control us. Internal sovereignty means each and every state is having its own individuality. Other states cannot control the particular state. Right. So we have both internal as well as external sovereignty. Now moving on. This internal sovereignty is again divided into 4 types. Means, see the 4 types of internal sovereignty: executive, legislative, judiciary and administrative. So there should be, the alignment is missing here. The administrative should be here. Right. So what are the 4 internal sovereignties that we are having? Executive, legislature, judiciary and administrative. So please remember these words. These words and the definitions are very important. In our upcoming videos, we will explain about each of these topic, each of these terminology in detail. Just for now, time being, please remember that internal sovereignty is divided into 4 types. Right. Later on, we will discuss about this. Now moving on further. Here, there is a question raised by many of the people. Now, our India is a sovereign country. Just now we have discussed that India is a sovereign country. Then many of the experts, many of the eminent persons, many of the critics, they raised a question that if India is a sovereign country, why India should be a member of the Commonwealth of Nations? In spite of having independence long back in 1950s, why still India is having the membership of Commonwealth Nations? Okay, even though we are sovereign. Is this not the abstraction? Is this not stopping saying that India is a sovereign country? This was the question raised by many of the eminent people, many of the critics. But before going into the answer, this question was answered very perfectly by Jawaharlal Nehru ji. But before going to that, let us see, what do you mean by Commonwealth of Nations? You have to know what you mean by Commonwealth of Nations and why we are in the Commonwealth of Nations. That is important here. Right? So let's move on. So the next question that you have to answer here is, what is Commonwealth Nations? Let me explain you for this. Commonwealth means these are the group of countries which were part of the British Empire before getting independence. Just like India, these countries are also under the rule of Britishers. I repeat. Just like India, some of the countries were under the rule of Britishers. Okay, after getting independence, they for themselves joined the group that is the Commonwealth group. Okay, so most of the countries in this Commonwealth nation are belonging to the British Empire only. They were once upon a time under the rule of Britishers. Just like we Indians, for nearly 200 years we were under the rule of Britishers. Okay, just like us, many other countries were also there, and all of these countries after independence, they joined the Commonwealth membership. This is just a political association. Okay, let's know more about this Commonwealth nation. This Commonwealth nation, as I said, this is a political association having 53 member state. It is having 53 member state presently, and nearly, not all, nearly all of them are the former territories of the British Empire. Okay, except the state that is called as Mozambique. Mozambique were the part of the British Empire. Okay, this is not the country which has been independent from the British Empire. And one more exception here, the United States. United States were under the British Empire only, but they did not join the Commonwealth nations. Right guys, these are the important bits for your upcoming exams. Okay, first thing is, which of the following state, you can get a question like, which of the following country or a state is an exception for the Commonwealth in the Commonwealth nations list, not under the rule of the British Empire. This is a part of the British Empire actually, that is Mozambique. Okay, and you can get a question like, which of the following state is and was under the British Empire but not a member of Commonwealth nations? United States. Now, comparing with this United States, many people compared United States with India. Now, just like United States, India was also under the control of British Empire. India, why India still is a member of Commonwealth nations when United States is not there? This was the question raised by the eminent people. Right. Now I hope you got an idea about Commonwealth nations. I think many of you don't know what is Commonwealth nations. So I thought it is necessary to understand each and every terminology. Just going through the topic is not sufficient. Understanding, getting each and every terminology is very important. That's the reason why I have explained this Commonwealth nations. Okay, now moving on to our question. The question is still remaining. We have to still give the explanation for this question. Why Indians are the members of the Commonwealth nation? This was the question raised by many of the critics and many of the people. So the answer for this question was nicely, perfectly given by Nehruji. Okay, what he said is, even though we became independent in 1950s, we are still continuing as a member of Commonwealth nations with our own interest, with an intention that we will not affect our sovereignty of nations. So it doesn't mean that since we are the members of the Commonwealth nations, our sovereignty is lost. This will not affect our sovereignty. India has every right to come out of the membership whenever it wants. If such things happens, if any time the sovereignty of India is affecting, we can stop being a member of Commonwealth nations. These are the words given by the Nehruji. Okay, he also said that we are not bounded to any of the rules imposed on imposed by the Commonwealth nations. Okay, Commonwealth is a free association of the sovereign nation. It is no longer, actually the Commonwealth is no longer a British wealth. Okay, so he said we did not accept the British Queen as a head of the state. India just want to be a member of the political association, so we are the members of the Commonwealth nation. But whenever India want to come out of it, it can come out of it. It will come out of it if it is affecting the principles of the Constitution. It is not accepting the British leadership. This was the explanation given by Nehruji. So I repeat for you, what was the explanation given by Nehruji? Indians, we for ourselves as accepted the Commonwealth nation. Okay, if it is affecting the sovereignty of India, we have every right to come out of it. We did not accept the headship of the British nations. Right. So this was the explanation given by Nehruji for this question. Okay. Right. So this question has many times asked, not many times, only once I saw in the mains question paper. So that's the reason why I'm discussing this question, right? You can elaborate this question for your preparation, right? So guys, we discussed the first term, that is the sovereignty. So we completed the word sovereignty, and the next word that we are having is the socialist. So as I said before, the socialist word is not there in the original constitution, that has been added under the 42nd amendment. So presently we are having the word socialist, but in the original constitution you won't have this word socialist. So guys, that's all for today's session. In the next session, we will discuss about the next word, that is the socialist. Don't be in a hurry to complete the topic. So read carefully. Each and every word of the preamble is very important. This is considered as a fundamental. So if you want to understand the polity in a better manner, you have to understand these words perfectly. Right. So that's all for today's session, guys. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification so that you can bell icon to get further notifications. Okay. So stay tuned. I'll come up with a next part where I'll explain you the remaining terminologies also. Not only that, as I promised you, I will also provide you the MCQs at the end so that you need not have to go somewhere else in search of the MCQs. So thank you guys. Stay tuned. Bye bye.